Today we are making a Kyoto-style miso hot pot. This hot pot will be entirely plant-based, so it's perfect if you are looking for a meatless or vegetarian option. Let's get started. Welcome back to another episode of What's Cooking in Worcester. I am nutritionist Kelly Williams. We are going to begin with our firm tofu. Tofu is a great plant-based source of protein, pretty economical, and the great thing about working with tofu is that it doesn't have a really specific flavor. So it's going to take on all the flavors of everything else we are using. For this recipe, you want firm or even an extra firm tofu, and we're going to use just about half of this. And the secret to working with tofu is that it does have a lot of moisture. It's like a sponge. So you want to go ahead and press out as much of this moisture as you can. I just have folded paper towel here, and I'm going to set the tofu there, put some more paper towel on top, and then I'm going to set it off to the side, weighted under a heavy dish or heavy pan, anything you have, just to give it some weight, and it's going to press out that moisture, and we're going to let that rest over to the side. Now we're going to get started on our vegetables. I am using about half a head of cabbage today. This is considered Chinese cabbage, but you could use bok choy, even just regular cabbage if you wanted to. I like this style. It's a little bit more tender and wilts down really nicely in the soup. And now we're going to go ahead and slice it into thin strips. So you'll see that this hot pot that we are making today is a great way to get in lots and lots of vegetables. And cabbage does wilt down quite a bit, but this was kind of a large one and I might not even need the whole half head here. That looks like about enough for what we're doing today. I'm gonna go ahead and set that in my pot off to the side. And we also have half a cup of matchstick carrots. You can buy these in the produce section. They're already chopped like this for you. Very economical. However, if you have whole carrots at home, that's great too. I'm going to show you using the potato exactly how you want to cut them, but you do want them cut in these little matchstick, or even sometimes you'll see them called julienne slices. And now we'll get started with our potato. This is just a regular russet potato. Of course, we've already washed this and it's ready to go. Now, the reason why I did that first slice along the bottom is to give myself a nice flat foundation. And that's what you would do if you were slicing the carrot at home as well. If you prefer to peel your potato, you could definitely do that too. And I see here on the end, we've got a little dark spot. So we're just gonna cut that away. And you can take these and stack them a few at a time, just like this. And you're gonna go into long slivers this way. And to make them about the same size as the carrot, I'm gonna go through this direction too. So you see they make these little thin sticks. Great thing about this recipe also is that everything cooks at one time together. So it's pretty fast to have on the table. And of course, like most soups, will reheat really well. So if you want to make a larger batch and have it on hand, that's great too. So there we have our potato, our carrot, our cabbage. That's what we have going so far. And let's take a look and see how we're doing with our tofu. Now, ideally, you want to give this about 10 or 15 minutes to really absorb as much liquid as possible. And you can see here, the paper towels are really wet, so they've done their job soaking up all that extra moisture. And we're going to go ahead and just cube up our tofu. We're using just about 6 to 8 ounces of tofu in this recipe, so that was about half of a block. And if you're not familiar with buying tofu, you'll find that in the produce section of all your grocery stores. Just again, look for that firm or extra firm. And this is what it looks like. So we're gonna go ahead and add that in. And if any of the pieces seem a little bigger than you would like in your bite of soup, just give them another little chop. And the last thing we're gonna add, about 4 ounces of shiitake mushrooms. Again, in the produce section, these were already chopped up for me. And if you didn't find shiitake mushrooms, you could use anything that you found. You just want to, again, have them sliced up. I'm going to use about half of these. And this is a great time to mention, if you have any other favorite vegetables that you really like, go ahead and add them. This is a very flexible recipe, but there are some great health benefits to the vegetables that we have included today. Now we're going to be adding 2 cups of vegetable broth. This recipe could certainly be made also with chicken broth, but this is completely a meatless and plant-based recipe today. So we are using vegetable broth. I'm using a pre-packaged low sodium vegetable broth. However, if you want to make your own vegetable broth, please see one of our previous episodes of What's Cooking in Worcester, where I demonstrate how to use scraps from your kitchen to make both chicken and vegetable broths at home. So we just put in about 2 cups of broth, and we're gonna bring that over to the stove and get it up to a boil. Okay, we've had our hot pot vegetables and broth simmering for about 12 to 15 minutes. You just wanna make sure that your carrots and potatoes are tender. And while that finishes up, we're gonna go ahead and toast some sesame seeds. This is optional, this is just as a topping. Remember, all of our nuts and seeds are a good source of minerals as well as healthy fat. So this is a great topping option if you enjoy it. They are fine to eat, they don't have to be cooked, but toasting brings out that warm, nutty flavor. You just wanna have this on a low to medium-ish heat because they will brown very quickly, so don't walk away from the stove at all. Make sure that you're staying here and just kind of moving the pan around gently every minute or so. Now that our sesame seeds are light golden brown, we can take them off the heat. Now for the finishing touch on our hot pot, I have pulled out about 1/4 to 1/3 of a cup of our broth and let it cool down just a little bit. And to that, we are gonna add about 2 tablespoons of miso paste. Now the miso paste is gonna help give it a lot of flavor, of course, that really rich umami flavor that we're looking for. And the reason why we add it right at the end is because miso paste is a fermented soy product. It's very rich in probiotics, so this is fantastic for gut health, and we don't want to kill off all those great probiotics by heating them too much. So we're just gonna make almost like a slurry using just a bit of that broth and the paste. This is gonna be added to the entire soup pot, but as you can see, our hot pot is off the heat now and it is cooling down just a little bit. And again, we just don't want to boil the miso paste. I'm just whisking that in there with the broth just to make a smoother texture. And that's what that looks like. And now we're gonna go ahead and add it to the hot pot. Give that a stir to incorporate. And the miso paste is providing most of our salt and our flavoring in this dish. We are not adding any extra salt until we taste it, just to keep it on the heart-friendly, lower sodium side of things. All right. And this is what our Kyoto-style miso hot pot looks like. You could finish it off with a little bit of this rice wine vinegar for some extra flavoring, okay? And of course, if you want to top it with some of those toasted sesame seeds, you could do that as well. And if you tasted it and you wanted it to have a little bit more of that miso flavoring or a little bit more of a salty or savory flavor, a bit more of the miso paste would work there as well. And that is our Kyoto-style miso hot pot. Thank you for joining us on another episode of What's Cooking in Worcester. For the Worcester County Health Department, I'm nutritionist Kelly Williams.